Find the light. I don't know if I find the light here. Are we up? Never tell, you know. I have no way to tell if it's actually running. There we are. People are here. Good morning. We are up. Picking up where I left off yesterday. Favorite of the hero sprint. So the first one, and I still think the best one. This is the inspiration for the whole series. It's absolutely the best one, I think. It's perhaps also the one that's the least parodied. The original characters are quite blatant, you know. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, what we're doing this morning, what I'm doing this morning, I'm putting in the name. This is a batch of prints that came back from our printer, Kubota-san, last week. And I'm putting in the embossing. It says Horiburu. Hori means carving, Bull, Dave Bull, that's me. Suri printing, Kubota Keiichi. And he should be doing this job, putting the embossing on, but he and I have a difference of opinion about this. He doesn't want his name on there. I do want his name on there, so I have to do it myself. This won't be taking long, about 5 minutes left, then we'll switch to today's real work, which is going to be some carving. So this will just be for the first part of the session here this morning. Then I've got a blank wood block that will be coming into service for some carving this morning. pad there is just moisture. It's water. I need to slightly moisten each one of these prints. The paper is very dry. When we printed it, it was moistened, and this embossing should have been done at the same time as that was done, when the paper is moist. So I'm just touching on the pad here to get a bit of water, just very lightly moisten this area. Just quickly before it dries. You can hear a difference in the paper. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean the rubbing sound? I'm not sure. Because it's dry. Maybe, I don't know. I should also be checking these a bit more carefully in each one. We found yesterday when we were doing this, some eagle-eyed viewer yesterday noticed a mistake on one of these, and I should be checking them myself more carefully. They've been checked supposedly once by the printer, once by me. They'll be checked again by the ladies who do the packing. But even so, we missed that one yesterday. There was a blob of, I don't know, hard size on one of the prints. That both of us had missed. When the defects are like in the middle of a wide area, it's easy to see, but this one was in the middle of a little, busy area, and it just didn't catch your eye. So that's my excuse anyway. I'm sticking to it. You have focus problems with the camera? I'm not sure. I can't watch both because of the differences in Now the camera strikes at an angle, so it's difficult, I think, for it to sometimes see what the focus is, but I'm trying to watch it. It seems all right, I think. Anyway, almost finished here. Just got about 10 sheets left. Just a few. Then we'll be on to the real work today. Just a few more sheets here. What's this? Jed did a stream yesterday? I didn't know that. What was he doing? Got some competition here, do I? Two sheets left. Jed, I see you've just joined us there. I know people were just chatting a minute ago about a live stream. You did something yesterday. They were asking, is there any way to catch that? Has it been archived or can you see it later? People who didn't see it live. Does Instagram do that? Okay, there we go. This job's finished. And again, just for those who've just joined, what we've been doing is this. It's our rickshaw card print, the first and best of our ukiyo-e heroes. And what I've been doing is putting on the embossing. It's the carver's name, Hori Buru and Suri Kubota Kenichi. Kubota-san doesn't want to do this himself, so I'm the guy that gets to do it. And there we are. That goes on all the prints. That job's done. And for those of you who have never seen it before, this is so cool, you know. This is the part that I like. All the prints. Look at that. All the prints back from the printer, where they come. Next step is they go over to Jed in America. He signs, puts his seal on them. I guess he makes a final check too, see if there's some things that we haven't noticed, although it's very rare that he catches anything. By the time it gets to him, we've checked them pretty thoroughly. And then from there, they go out into the world. So this is the last time, really, they see them all together, you know. It's like a family, all the kids. They're going to go to different places once they get out into the world. Kubota-san, you know, he's such a good printer. What we want is absolute reliability. The prints from us have got to be exactly the same. We're talking about it in the print party yesterday. Some of the people, they made 2 prints in the print party. And one was a dark blue, one was a light blue. And they were saying, oh, I like this, I get 2 variations. And for us, no. Our job is this simple. We've got to make these prints, each one has got to be as exactly the same as the other one. And you people say, Jeff, that's your goal. Why don't you just have a machine print them? And it's kind of paradoxical. We want them all the same, but we don't want them mechanical, printed by a machine. You know, it's interesting. Why do we do it this way then? Why not just use printing presses? You know, because they're different. Woodblock prints just have a different feel and a different tone and a different touch than any commercial printing that's ever been invented yet to date. But it is paradoxical. Any variation in that red, it's a mistake. It's not permitted. Modern printmakers just vary, and you know, they want that handmade look. Everyone should be different. And for us, no. If it's different, it's a mistake, and we throw it out. There you go, Jed-san, I think you're on the stream here today. There you go. Next step, over to you. Okay, now, on with the real work. I need my famous old cloth. And a new fresh blank wood block. Satisfying, isn't it? All that stack. And what there are, we ordered from Kubota-san this time around, we ordered 80 copies. So those 2 stacks there, the wide and short, we saw 80 copies. And what do they sell for? I don't know, $140 or something times 80. It's not a, you know, it's not all that big a deal. It's just this current batch. But yeah, it's very, very, very satisfying. Some of those dumpster diving in Mokuhankan. Good luck. We shoot dumpster divers on site. Yeah, I never thought of that. Dumpster diving at Mokuhankan. Yeah, right. And I always thought it was the rats that were scurrying around in the roof upstairs. Maybe it's, I don't know, it's fans trying to get their hands on some reject prints. Okay, you can see what's next. You can see where this is going. Here's the first, it's the key block for the first design in next year's subscription series, which is, you know, nailed down. It's been coming together over the past few weeks. We've decided to go with it, the series of gags. It's a simple series. 12 prints, each one of which will be a single frame comic / gag. Carved, totally brush stroked by Jed and printed with splashed on colors with a caption. It's going to be a fun, simple series. We're going to get the price way down below what it was last year because the production should be really much simpler than before. And we're going to make hundreds of them. And they're going to be good fun. Haven't decided quite yet about the box and stuff to store them in because you want to be able to change them and change them and change them. Anyway, I got to get going on the production here, so we'll talk about it later. Okay, ignore that, Dave. Okay, what do I got to do? Let's say, first step, I've got to find the registration marks. So, let's see. I need a board here. So, Oh, also, I forgot to mention something news today. News. We got an email last night from the company who made the documentary video about our work a couple of years back. And we've posted before. It's currently available to see in the in-flight entertainment system on Delta Airlines, at least on Trans-Pacific flights. I don't know about other flights. The other news that came in last night was that there's a film festival screening of the documentary tomorrow night in America. Thursday night. It's going to be at the St. Louis International Film Festival, Thursday night at 7:30. I think it's a single showing. At least that's all I know about at the moment. And I can pop a link in here before I forget. Let me get which my glasses are here. Hang on a sec. If I can find the link here. Here it is. What we're going to do with the caption is that you saw me doing this embossing just now on the rickshaw cart print. And I embossed it with the Baron hand on paper, and we used laser. I got this small type here. We lasered it because it was so tiny. And it's just simply a bit of a waste of time to carve it when there's no sense, no meaning in it. And that's what we're going to do with the captions for these prints. This is the key block. I'll be carving what you see here on cherry wood. There'll be color blocks also carved in cherry wood, and there'll be a caption at the bottom, and we'll do that the same way. We're going to laser it to make a plate, and then we'll print it with color. It won't be embossed. At least I don't think it'll be embossed. No, I think it needs to be printed in color. Now, these blocks, this one is a leftover block from last year's series, cut in half. And of course it's got defects, so I've got to find a place on it here that I can put this key block image down without hitting any bad spots. This is hard enough, I think, so I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, anybody who's got headphones on, I'm going to make a rather sharp tapping sound here in a minute. If you've got headphones on, be careful. The tap with the hammer here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, those are the registration marks for this key block. I can zoom in a bit, I guess, right? What I've done, I used a plastic jig here. This isn't really seriously determining where they are. I'm just trying to keep them roughly at the edge, same distance from the edge, but it doesn't matter. This is not determining the registration. The two marks are now in there. There's a corner mark, an L corner mark carved into the wood, and a single notch carved into the wood. And that's by definition, those are the registration marks for this print. I've already cut this to the right size. I've prepared this to the right size, and that corner and this edge are now going to be aligned there while this gets glued down, and that's the base for the registration now for this whole series this year. We're going to be doing it all the same size and the same way. And what this is, again, we've talked about this many times before, but perhaps there's people who have never seen it. What this is, it's a thin paper we call gampi. It's a type of Japanese paper, very thin, just like tissue paper. And I used a spray glue to put it onto a piece of copy paper. The reason we do that is because the gampi by itself doesn't go through a laser printer. And I needed to transfer Jed's images, which he has sent me, of course, in a Photoshop file. I need to put his lines onto the thin gampi paper, and the laser printer is the way to do it. Spray these two together, put it to the laser printer. They're going to now get pasted face down, and the glue will only stick to the gampi, and the paper on the back will get peeled off. Well, you'll see what happens as they do it. Here we go. I need some water, just to moisten the wood before we start. If we put the glue straight on dry wood, it just soaks in too quickly. Just got to moisten the wood just a touch. We're going to use a normal wood glue. You know, the PVC stuff. This is a fairly light type. It's not so strong, actually. Strong enough for this. So. Down we go, carefully into the marks. There's the junk paper off. And those of you who've seen this before, you know what happens next. I'm going to peel off now part of the gampi paper. If I peel off too much, I'm dead. I could always start again, but here we go. This is not one of those perfect peels, but it's a good one. Here we go. Can you see what's happening? This is, the white copy paper is long gone. This is the gampi paper, and it itself is layered. We can just peel off the back layer of it. Look at this, off she comes. It's like tearing a tissue paper in half. And what we have left on the block now is the front half or front third, whatever, of the Gampi paper. So you're looking at the back side of the front part of the Gampi paper. The toner on that copy is now glued directly to the wood. We're looking at the back side of it now. So there's still tiny, tiny remnants of paper there, but mostly what we've just got is toner on the wood, and that's all. That stuff is so cool, you know, handmade paper. So cool. We all know what happens next. Let's get going. I should take at least a look at this, see what's going on over here. Yeah, we were talking about the perfect Gampi split. I should have mentioned something. You know, I've been testing different kinds of Gampi paper a while ago. And that day a few weeks ago, when we were doing all these wonderful Gampi splits that came off perfect, 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 that was a really quite thick type I was using. And it was really splitting very easily. We're still testing. I've got the 5 different types on my desk here. Just putting them up basically almost randomly, one at a time, to test them. And they've all got a number. The maker has a number for each one. So once I finish this test pack, used up all this test sheets, I'll be deciding which one to buy. And I may or may not go with that thick stuff. It's fun to peel it off, but it's a bit thick actually for use. Sorry, messy here. Now this is the first one of the set throughout the year, and I guess Jed's listening here, so it's okay. But this happens frequently with all of our projects. You know, we have to decide how detailed and how much detail is going to be in each design, and we start at a reasonable level, but Jed gets full of ideas, and more and more and more and more and more. The detail gets more and more. So okay, anyway, let's have a go at this. There's some fine lines here, so I'm going to need my number 1 tool, my scope. Let's start with this sword. I think we can zoom in now that I know where I'm going to be. Hang on a sec. Somewhere on there. Just look at these messages now. I can't keep up with this. Sorry, guys. All right, let's go. Carving begins. A year's work coming up. Actually, I'm not going to be the main carver on this series. It's going to be our young girl, usually, Kawasaki-san, who did most of the yokai series last year. She's going to do this series again this year. But she's busy right now with the Serpent Strikes, one of the boss fights prints. And also, we need to be able to take video for this to make the promo video for this series, which is supposed to be ready in a couple of weeks. So this job will stay here on my desk. I'll do the carving and the test printing. And she'll pick up the series from number 2. Am I on camera still? Am I wandering? Is that better? Sometimes I get second thoughts about this series we're going to do this year. Does this really make sense? I'm going to carve gags. We're going to carve comics, When people make comics for the newspaper or something, whatever they draw it gets multiplied by, commercial processes. Goes in the newspaper, gets thrown away, We're going to make, like, woodblock prints are going to last for 200 years of jokes? Really? And whatever, why not? Why not? 200 years from now, when these prints are still around, will these jokes still be funny? I have no idea. I think it doesn't matter. We've got prints in our shop here. We've got the section of our shop called the flea market, and we've got in there, those aren't prints that we made. Those are prints that we buy in the markets, estate sales or auction sales and things like that. And some of them are really old. The print is at the front of the row right now in the flea market. It's 1820, which means it's, pretty much it's getting over 200 years old. And it's a print of some episode in a kabuki play from back in that era. And I haven't the slightest idea who the actor is or what he was doing or what the plot was or what was going on. And the only people who do know that sort of thing now are specialists who study that. There's lots of data left over from the old playbooks and stuff. So there are people who know what that is. But most of us don't. It's just a woodblock print of a kabuki actor. And it's been divorced, for us it's been divorced from the meaning that came with it. This must be Cameron's son coming in, I think. So I think that's what I'm thinking about this series we're going to make this year. There's gags, they're sort of funny, ha-ha, they're worth a smile. But to me that's secondary. The print itself is going to be such an attractive object that it doesn't really matter about the gag. At least that's the theory. Good morning, sir. Gee, you got rid of that BYU sweatshirt. So you do your laundry once every 2 weeks whether you need it or not. Is that right? Nice, yeah. How's the trip every morning? Have you figured out a time that's not so crowded? Or
no, it's always crowded. Unless you want me to come in around noon.
No, I'm like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, maybe 5 in the morning. I could do that too.
But it's only, what, 27 minutes you said or something? Or?
Mm-hmm. Unless I catch a local one, then it's 40. Yeah. But this was the rapid, so it was about a half hour.
But when you get on, there's no seats obviously already, right? So you're standing, your strap hanging for 27 minutes?
Yep. Yeah. But that's okay.
You're young enough.
Read a book or something.
Yeah. One-handed.
Yeah.
Say hello to the Twitchers. Are they here this morning? Whatever.
Good morning.
This is Cameron again. So, actually, I'm not even reading what's going on. I haven't a clue what they're talking about. Don't I?
Microaggressions. Dave is so brutal. Microaggressions.
What? I don't even know what that word means.
Oh. It's what you're doing. No, just kidding.
Constant stream of small criticism that add up to brutality and the. As I said, I don't think I know what it means.
So. I didn't know he had finalized the design. Cool. Yeah,
we're going to go for it. We decided to go for it. So. What the point I was just chatting about right now is, it's a joke, it's a gag. You see it, ha ha ha, and you laugh for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's okay. But the print we're making is going to last, like 200 years. We've talked about this before.
Right.
This washi, So I'm making a 200-year lasting artifact.
Yes.
Is that joke still going to have any meaning 200 years from now? I mean, the answer is clear. No. It's not going to have any meaning. And then the example I was trying to compare with the kabuki prints out in the shop. We looked at one yesterday, 1820. I have no idea what that story is. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Who is this actor? But it's a nice print.
Yeah. But I don't know, these gags, we're going to try and, what's the word, put Jed's jokes into as serious and as long-lasting a form as it's just like casting them in concrete.
Yeah.
Jed, you got to get really funny with these, okay? Get serious. He was on the stream earlier.
Oh, was he?
He was listening. He wasn't typing, but he was listening.
Okay.
So.
Fart jokes are eternal, though.
I'm not so
Thank
sure
you.
about that. Well, I guess they were making fart jokes in Elizabethan England, I guess. So yeah, and the old Japanese scrolls. There's a nanny, I know. What's it called? Gassen. On a fart. What's it called? I don't know.
The fart wars, basically.
So.
Oh, what did
I can't remember. Not Gassen.
Yeah. It's not.
I can't remember the name. Yeah. So.
Gassen.
So. So yeah, maybe somebody's right. If we make the
Yeah.
joke crude enough,
Yeah.
they will still be around. So, if we make them too intellectual, we're in trouble. No fear of that. I think so.
How are you going to do the text?
We're gonna same. We were just talking about that.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was doing that embossing on the Mario
Mm-hmm.
thing. So we're gonna laser it up,
Oh, okay.
laser it onto wood like this, and then this was just embossing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna laser it up on wood and then print it light gray. So
Okay.
we'll print them. So it'll be a combination of woodblock printed image and colors. And then at the bottom it'll be it's wood.
Yeah.
It'll be woodblock printed,
Laser
but not
engraved
hand
wood,
carved.
yeah.
Laser engraved wood for the text.
Cool. Great.
And some of them, or maybe many of them, won't have captions. It's a visual gag.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Want me to read you any of these?
Sure, go ahead.
Got
Like what you could do,
Yeah.
what we were doing while Jed was here last
Yeah.
week. You saw what he was doing. He sat there, right?
Yeah.
Took the computer.
I don't know if they want to look at me though.
But whatever, people don't know who you
Yeah.
are, what's going on. You could talk about you've been here in Mokuhankan for a month and
Yeah.
tell them some backstories about what's going on. So let's do that. Oh, I'm going to
Okay.
carve here. Put the
Okay.
computer down here.
I'll jump in, say hi.
You jump in, you know how we are. So.
Okay.
Good, my cords are going to get mucked up here.
Morning. Okay, well,
And
first,
throw me any things that I need to know or whatever. So.
I think you need to know this. Egyptians also had fart jokes.
Okay, there we go. So we're safe.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
safe. Oh man, the earliest recorded joke is a fart joke. But this just goes on and on.
All right. Okay.
Okay, let's see what else is in here.
We're not exactly doing fart jokes,
No, not yet. We don't know what's going to be in November.
How far we
December.
get the bottom of the barrel, So. Yeah, I'm going to put the mic up here so we can both catch it.
Oh, okay.
Put up in the middle here. Just
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Cameron is on camera. Yes, I am. Morning. Yeah, Japan's great. Hope Japan's treating you well. Yeah, I've been here about 3 years, and I first started in a really rural area, helping or teaching English at a school, and then ended up out here after friends of friends of friends leading me to being connected to Jed and then connecting to Dave.
You've been, what, a month now?
Yep.
Since you
Yeah,
first started,
started at about the beginning of October.
Any regrets yet?
Any regrets yet? No. I like. I've got a 10-15 minute bike ride and then a half hour on a train. But the bike ride every morning and evening is nice.
I see. So
even
for you,
it's
the
long.
important part is not the work and the job. It's yeah. Okay. I get where your priorities are.
No, that's
now.
where I thought the regrets
So,
might be, was the distance, but
All right.
not the work. No, the work's been great. There's a lot to learn. Yeah, because all our systems are
Totally customized.
custom made by Dave, because he's been doing it all himself for so long. So I don't think I've been much help yet. Please tell me otherwise. But I'm trying. What is my normal working day like? If you see me when I walk in the morning, I wave. And lately I've been helping a little bit with setting up the Japanese version of the website. So that'll be coming soon, we hope. So it's coming together. Fallen into a routine? Not yet. There is
God no.
He's
Other than
no,
you mean panic, it's called firefighting.
Yeah, there is no routine yet. There's just so many things happening. Yesterday, for a half hour, you were just packed in the shop.
Oh yeah, it was all morning.
It was all morning? Okay. I just saw all the sales. They were all within a 40-minute spread or so. And
parties, probably
It was
chain smoking
wild.
parties yesterday.
chain smoking parties. Yeah, just those print parties over and over. Yeah, what is my job title? Yeah, kind of hard to beat master woodblock printmaker. Yeah, I don't know, what am I?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm background helper dude.
Well, no, that's not enough. I know. For those who know, we talked about the Patreon thing going about half a year ago. The idea was I was totally overwhelmed with all
swamped.
the jobs. So we asked Patreon to help us provide some funds to help me get a person who would take various jobs, not clearly defined yet, but take various jobs away from me so that I can get back to the specialized jobs.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. So at the moment, you're simply offloading from me, and then that will perform its own job, plus things like this Japanese website that weren't getting done before.
Right.
So it's a combination of those two things.
Yeah, trying to take some things from... Yeah, my job title is Cameron. That sounds about right. I'm trying to unload some of it and do some of the things that he just didn't have time for, so that he has more time to do what he's doing right now. Get back to the bench and carve. Would the goal be to become Dave's right-hand man? I don't know. I just hope I can help out because I love seeing all the things that he makes. So
we're such a young company still. There's so many places we need to grow and get into that the jobs will come to you. You know, I mean, we'll make the jobs as we go along. You know.
Yeah. Call it general support specialist. That sounds good. Can you be general and a specialist though? I'm not sure. Ouch. I hope enormous rat. Someone's bringing that one back.
Let's kill that.
Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't have. I didn't realize it was going to become a meme. So we're just lucky we don't have custom icons on our channel yet.
Yeah. Is this like?
Yeah. It's got a bit of a buzz, but it might be buzzing right into the mic, so I'm not sure.
I'll just take that off. I don't know.
Jed was on earlier. I don't know if he's still there.
Oh yeah, Jed, are you here?
He put up a couple of things about news. We got that news last night that the documentary it's showing tomorrow in St. Louis.
Oh, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're on the train. I guess you didn't see it when I posted.
Yeah.
It, so.
Are any of you in St. Louis going to go see the documentary? I don't know if I'll get a response to that, but that's okay. So 1 month in, what is the thing that you've learned that surprised you the most? The thing that surprised me the most.
Should I leave the room while you answer that?
I think I've been amazed at how he was doing all of these things by himself. And still is. And making time every morning to show you him carving and talk to you and make new videos. He just does so many things. It's been amazing to see how he's doing that and still getting anything finished.
I'm still sleeping.
And eating, yeah. Well, did you even get lunch yesterday?
No. That's unusual. I shouldn't play that card. Oh my God, I'm such a hard,
Yeah, I'm starving.
So that's not true. Yesterday was a bit unusual. Actually, I forgot to prepare. I should have prepared lunch because I knew we had back-to-back parties.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it's my own carelessness. So I don't want to put that out there. David is so stung by the work he doesn't even have time to eat. And something. That's not true.
Yeah.
My normal life is okay. I sleep well. I eat well. It's under control. Just there's no end of things to do. That's all.
Yeah, so many different things.
So I'm not in any kind of tragic situation.
Yeah.
You're the one that will be soon.
Yeah, thanks. I'll be the one in the tragic situation. Hope not. Let's see. Oh, are there any emails that you haven't gotten to with questions, do you think?
I have no idea. I didn't hear any sounds.
Okay.
Do you know where it is?
I don't.
We're in window 9. Mail is window 2.
Okay. 2. And then is there...
There's a box. It's quite down. It's called Twitch chats and Twitch questions.
Okay.
And if it shows any unread...
Looks like we're good.
Okay.
Okay. So we're in window 9.
Monitor 9.
Video. There you go. Okay, there you are again. Let's see. Do I live far from the job? A little bit. I mentioned earlier. A little bit of a bike ride, then a half hour on the train. So I didn't want to live right in the city. I like quieter life outside. But I like coming in for work, so it's not too far, but it's not like a super quick trip either. Let's see. Do the Japanese dislike gaijin? That's a loaded question.
Which one of those 25 billion Japanese people are you talking about?
Yeah, there are a lot of Japanese people. So I'm sure there are some, but I've actually not encountered any hostility that I've noted. I mean, I could just be so oblivious. Maybe they're trying to be hostile, and I'm just like, yay, I'm in Japan. But no, I don't think I haven't had any issues like that.
You haven't been stopped by police yet, have you?
No, I haven't been stopped by police.
Welcome to the club when that starts.
Yeah, but I just don't go outside late at night. But yeah, how about you, Dave?
Actually, since we're here in Osaka, I haven't been stopped by the police a single time. Out in Ome, it happens all the time.
Really?
Here in Osaka, it's just so many foreigners. What are they going to do? They
can't stop every person.
So. It's a bicycle thing. If you ride a bicycle late at night, then that's it. You're going to get stopped. They see you instantly. Oh my God, there's a guy again. He must be up to something on a bicycle.
What can you get up to in Ome?
Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. There's no rational behind it, but there was once. The guy actually had a reason for stopping me, but I didn't know about it. And we had I'd been coming back from the home center. There's a route, corner. No. And I'd come up. I could cross this main road at this corner or the next corner. Either one would be okay. So I'm zooming along on my bicycle, ready for crossing the green light.
Yeah.
And bang, it went red. So I quickly changed direction, ran down on my bike towards the next corner.
Right.
It turned out that there'd been a couple of cops on bikes across the street.
Yeah.
Who I hadn't seen.
Oh no.
But they had seen me come along, and all of a sudden they thought I had seen them. And I got to go the other way.
And you were running away from
So
the
they
cops.
see all of a sudden the gaijin quickly changed direction and zoom away in the other direction as fast as he could. But I didn't know this. So I'm zooming along to get to the next corner, and from behind me come these two cops catching up with their bikes. Zoom, bell, stop, pull over. And I have no idea what's going on. It's okay, I pull over. Yeah. And it was a half-an-hour standoff.
Oh.
They're show me your ID, which I do. Yeah. What's in your backpack? I'm like, none of your business. But they think they have the rights to do this because they think I'm running away. But I didn't know this. I thought it was just that they stopped because I was just, some random reason.
Right.
And I was hostile, and they were hostile. And this is not American. I'm not in danger of face plant on the ground, bullet in the back. It doesn't happen in Japan. It was just a standoff.
Yeah.
They wouldn't move. I wouldn't move. They wouldn't let me go. I couldn't go.
How'd you get out?
Car stopped beside us. This is the main road. A car stopped beside us, and a teacher, elementary school teacher, who's a friend of mine, gets out and says, "These guys, what's going on? And they're like, "Do you know this guy?" And so, bang. There we go.
Nice.
I got out of it. So, but they were actually in their rights because they thought, some sort of, this is sort of semi-criminal activity. A guy sees the cop and starts to run away.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that's what had happened.
A lot of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Oh man. Because that's how all the gaijin criminals get up in their shifty business on Mamachari. Sounds about right. They have a high-speed chase. Yep.
Yeah.
Dave's starting a block. I'm so nervous during all the fine starting lines.
I know. Yeah, this is going to be an easy one.
But yeah, I haven't been stopped or anything. I live in a town of 8,000 people, and I was one of probably 6 other foreigners in the whole town, and never had any issues.
Okay, well, the thing is, though, the way the police system works there, the Koban system, the policeman lives in the house behind the Koban, which is a rural area. And I don't know what it was in that. It switches, in Ome here, they switch every 2 years.
Okay.
Sometimes 3 years.
Yeah.
And their idea is they don't want the policeman being too chummy with the neighborhood people.
Right.
The policeman gets friends with the local don and things go round and round. So they switch them out.
Yeah.
To avoid, chumminess and little stuff going back up. But the problem is, the policemen are always new guys who don't know you.
Right.
So whatever, Mr. X, he's been here for 2 years. He knows who I am. He lets me go by. He switches out, and the new kid, foreigner, bicycle, at night, let's stop him and have a look and talk to him. And it's always a new guy.
Oh, man.
So I get the system, and I see why, to avoid institutionalized, corruption and whatever started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it also
it has the
stops.
defect that the cops don't even know anybody in the district.
Right.
So they're always strangers,
Yeah. But yeah, the place I was, you saw that tiny neighborhood up in the mountains. There is a Koban there, a small police station, and...
But are they not rotated?
They were there twice a week.
Ah, so they weren't living there.
They weren't even there, almost ever. Except during the big music festivals, there were rock festivals up there, so then there were tons of officers. But most of the time it was pretty empty. I could do all my night biking that I wanted and not get pulled over for it.
I shouldn't complain about Japanese police. I mean, there are other places in the world, naming no names, that police are difficult, and you don't want to get messed up with them. But basically everywhere else. But here in Japan, it's no big deal. They're mostly very young boys, the ones you see on the streets. They're nervous about speaking to you because they can't speak English.
Yep.
They're just little boys, So that's an order, but just before that, there was a question.
Yeah, I got that one. Because someone said, I sent a question that should arrive in the email in a minute. So here we go. Okay. Dave, do you have any update on, if I heard correctly,
the octopus?
Numabe-san, the printer? You talked about him in the 15th video in Ukiyo-e Heroes, and about how he was a wonderfully competent worker, and how he might become a guitar repairman or not. So what's going on with him?
No, you're confusing two people. Excuse me. Numabe-san is a professional printer in town. He's my age exactly, he's 65 coming on to 66. He did one batch of the Great Wave for us, that's all. He's been doing many other prints for us. He's the main printer for the Yoshida family. He does all the prints of the Toshi Yoshida prints we have in the shop here.
Right.
He's also printing Hasui prints for a company called Shobido. He also does all the printing for a contemporary artist called Okamoto-san. Okamoto, I forget his first name. So Numabe-san is busy with those three publishers. And he does work for us, what's the word, in between us, when he's got time in between.
Right.
He knows, so he can call me anytime and we've got work. He did early batches of our rickshaw cart print for us.
Okay.
And he must have been in that video, Great Wave series, because he did some of the proof printing for the Great Wave. He can't do any work for us right now because, as I said, those other three people, the Yoshida family, is keeping him very busy right now. And he just knows, when you've got some time, please call me up and we'll throw work on his desk any minute. The guitar thing, that's a young Tetsui-san. There's a family of printers called Tetsui. I forget the father's name. Tetsui, I don't know his first name. He was just Tetsui-san to me. And then his son, Tetsui Hirokazu, who is a bit older than you, maybe. He must be maybe 34 or something like that, I guess.
Similar to Jed.
Yeah. He's a professional printer now. He's been training for years. And he's done a few jobs for us. He's done some of the heroes. He did Fox Moon, a bunch of those. Very competent, a bit slow, very clean printing, very competent, no defects at all, to the extent that it's possible. The problem is, though, because of all the new pop culture publications going on now, the Star Wars prints, the Kiss prints, and all that other stuff, he is very busy with that stuff. So not me as a publisher, but so he's got the same thing. He knows anytime there's not enough work on his table, he calls me, and away we go. And I call him up about every, I don't know, I should be calling him now, maybe about every 6 months. So I call him and say, hey, how's it going? And, how is the... And he says the same thing. Dave, sorry, booked. But about the guitar, his real love is making musical instruments. He makes electric basses. It wasn't guitars, it was basses. So he has this little brand, I forget what it is, that he makes electric basses, gets an order every couple of years for one. And in between those orders, he teaches guitar making, bass making, at some music school downtown. So I'm not sure. It seems to me that's his first love. He really wants to do the music thing.
Yeah.
Can't make a living at it, and he's still too obligated to people like his father and the Craftsmen's Association.
Doing the prints.
Doing the prints. So we'd love to have him. My God, if he came up one day and said, look, I've decided to quit that music thing, I need a job, I'm like, sign here. We'll give him the dream job. make his own hours, choose his own work, take his own days off. But it's not going to happen.
But maybe we could get him to do a couple more prints, right?
Not while they, there's another factor too, because of all the tourists coming into Japan. Of course, many tourists, they want to buy these prints as gifts. So it's a combination of the pop culture boom, pop culture ukiyo-e boom,
right,
plus the increased tourists, the run up to the Olympics, and the general revitalization of the woodblock printmaking business. So we don't have a hope in hell of getting him.
Too bad.
He's really a nice guy, nice boy.
Yeah. Was it Tetsui-san? Is that
Tetsui,
right?
so Tetsui Hirokazu.
Okay.
Then Mabe-san's the other end. He's my age, so he's probably going to retire sometime. I don't retire, but Mabe-san is a hired gun. So.
And does he just do printing, or does he carve as
well?
well?
No, just printing. Both these guys are just printers. They wouldn't know how to hold the carving knife.
Okay. And speaking of how to hold the carving knife, we've got a question about that. It says, Dave, would it be possible to situate things for just a moment to see what angle you're cutting at? If 90 degrees is straight up, I just want to see how steep your cutting angle is looking down the knife edge.
Dave thinks, how can I do this? So if I turn towards the camera, is that going to work? Just a minute. I got to twist my own system here. I can't.
Anything? Should I move the camera or anything? Or
just zoom out a bit. Not sure if I can. Oops, wrong way. Let me play with this for a minute. Hang on a sec. I'm trying to find a location where I can see it. No, don't. It's just gonna chaos.
I'm just gonna chaos. Okay. I thought I could
just
show the angle there, but it's gonna cause problems. Sorry.
There's a straight line. There's a straight line on the top of this sword here. Is it now towards the camera? I'm pointing right towards the camera. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can't quite see it, and I'm going to carve that straight line here. Is this doing what the gentleman wants me to do? I don't know.
Is that helping? This is Heritage Printmakers, is the person asking.
Whatever.
Is that about 45 degrees? Is that?
I shouldn't be 45, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't tell because I'm looking from directly above. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do it again on the next one here. And then to cut away the other side. Have we got that?
It's about 40 degrees, maybe 35. Someone's saying 45. Someone else says looks about 60. So who knows?
So this was really useful, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was, let me put the knife in there again just to hold it. Whatever, take your screenshots or whatever. I don't know what it is. Don't know what angle.
Twitch chat's judgment is consistent as always.
Well, what did we get? 40 to 60?
40 to 60.
Whatever, take a screenshot and measure it. I don't know. No idea. But it's also not a single number, because it just varies as the thing curves around. I mean, like what I did just now. I put it in here. You can't see it on the camera. Look. This is that same angle I did just then. But then I'm tipping. The knife is tipping on its back side. This is now way past 45 and coming out. So it's not a single static angle that just goes round and round and round.
Right.
This one too, this is way down because I'm just trying to get rid of waste. So I wouldn't be too hung up on finding a number and programming your CNC machine to do that number, because that's not sort of how it works. Here, coming in around the middle of this curve, I'm standing it up now so that I can go around the corner. And then as I come past the corner again, I'm now going to lean it down a bit more. So this is not a single static number, absolutely. It's a 3D. It's a 3D thing.
Yeah, like the prints themselves. Yeah, it's somewhere between 0 and 360 degrees. I
Got
think
it.
that sounds about right.
Why didn't I think of that at the beginning?
Somewhere in there. I think you're right. Guess I'm not as interesting as Jed. I don't have stories about drawing and. We can narrow it down to between 0 and 180. Yeah, I think that helps. Any other questions for Dave or for me? Or should I just hand it all back to him?
No, put it back if you like. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give him another minute. Think. Because I know it's hard for you going back and forth. Or maybe not that hard. But.
Excuse me.
I think there were a couple other questions that I missed. Oh, there's a question from yesterday in the email. It says.
Oh, no,
that one.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any exercise routine for your hands, like a warm-up routine or a stretch routine at the end of the day?
No, this comes all the time. There's nothing. Just I go to work, and I get off work, and I finish and go home. There's nothing. There's nothing to do. The bit of a strange situation because remember, I carve and I print and I do office work and I do print parties and I do other stuff. So it's not a single thing that I'm doing all day long. Back before we opened the Asakusa shop, when I was working at home in Ome, I really was mostly a craftsman. But the way I do things is because I carve and I print, it's an interesting thing. I don't get stuck on one. I'll carve, a design for the week or whatever that it takes to carve it. And during that time, I start to develop calluses. There's this place right here in my finger, and this gets hard skin.
Yeah.
And another place down here, it gets hard. But then when I'm finished carving, I put the carving tools away, pick up the printing tools. And during the 2 weeks, whatever, that I'm making the 200 copies of this, when I was a solo craftsman, the carving calluses disappear. And the printing, because I'm now not a printer, it's painful where it rubs or something. But during the 2 weeks of printing, a callus starts to develop.
Yeah.
But you can switch back to carving and it goes away. So I don't have printer's calluses. I don't have carving calluses.
Yep. Because you start to develop them and then change jobs.
Change jobs, exactly. So.
There's another one. How does Japan meet up to the way you've seen it depicted in movies? I think that was for me. But
so it's like I don't watch movies.
Yeah. We're talking what kind of movies?
Like Lost in Translation or
yeah,
something. Yeah, that's a classic example.
I haven't seen that one, but that one seems like it's pretty true to life from the parts that I have seen of it. It looks like it really was filmed here and was just outside on the streets and parts and used the real hotels here. So
yeah, but you really get lost. You mean? What do you mean?
No, I guess just how it looks, how it's depicted, how it's shown. But then there's movies I've seen screenshots, haven't seen it, but the new live action Ghost in the Shell one is a little bit in the future, but they went like really, really sci-fi and high tech, and Japan just doesn't feel like that. That looks more like the old Blade Runner vision of the future, although that was Los Angeles, but it had a big mix of cultures, the ramen shop pizza at the beginning and stuff. But it doesn't feel like that, the neon signs and stuff.
There is an aspect of
glow.
Can I interrupt?
Please.
I don't see movies and stuff. I don't go to watch movies, but whatever, I get various news streams and stuff.
Right.
And a while back, 3 or 4 months, I don't have a link here, I'm sorry. Somebody posted on Vimeo. He'd been here. He was sort of a videographer or a filmer. He'd been here in Japan on traveling for a couple of months. And he'd taken some great shots with his video. And he'd put together sort of, it wasn't a travelogue, but it was just my impressions of Japan.
Yeah.
It was like a 3, 4, 5, 6 minute video about it. And it was fairly quick cutting. Here's a shot, click, there's a shot, click, there's a shot, somebody doing something.
Yeah.
And he'd been all over the country. It was like the classic stuff, like geisha walking down Gyeonmachi in Kyoto at night in the rain or something,
Right.
and then some Odaiba modern statue, and
Yeah.
then Disneyland, and then modern life, and an old shrine here and there. Just all these aspects of Japan.
Right.
And I watched this thing and I thought, wow, what a cool place. Like, wow, I want to go there. Or, geez, that must be so cool. And then I'm like, hey, wait.
I live here.
I live here, you know. So, but these weren't things I see every day in my life. But it looked like such a cool place. And I could see if I wasn't here, you know, the 40 years ago, Dave, back in Canada, oh my God, I have got to get over there and see this place. Because when you film it that way, when you look at it that way, when you take these little clips, it just looks so
enticing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I had this, as I was watching it, I thought, oh my God, I would like to be there.
Yeah.
And really, here I am when I sit there.
Mm-hmm. But you spend most of the time here in the shop.
So does this mean I'm wasting my life, or you know, I should take Sundays off and get out there and go and look at some of these things? Or the other way to think it, he didn't actually come here, but suppose in the middle of his 6 months he'd been here.
Right.
And at one point there would be a 2 or 3 second clip in that video of this light. You see this carving desk, right? This carving desk and this bearded guy and this light. It could have been in that video.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is I'm part of that.
Yeah.
I'm not, it's not something that I see, oh, there is Japan, look at all those interesting things.
Mm-hmm. I
I am a bunch of cells in the body that is
makes
that thing that makes up Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my, you know, my take on this.
Yeah.
So you probably don't feel it yet because you're just sort of sitting here and whatever.
And just watching.
No, but really, I'm not being sarcastic. As
No.
enough time goes by, you know, if you really integrate into this
Yeah.
place, if you really have something to contribute to it, you become a part of that living organism that is the thing we call Japan.
Yeah.
So I no longer look at that and think, oh, nah. No, it's me, you know, it's me. So
True.
whatever, rambling, I'm sorry. But
No, thanks. No, that adds. But I like that. And also, so often Japan is depicted, either very, very traditional, like you were saying, the geisha walking around with an umbrella at night in the rain, or things like that. But I actually spent my first 3 years living in the middle of nowhere. And so my impression now of life in Japan, for the most part, is being surrounded by mountains, eating at a 100-year-old udon noodle shop, and just
the noodles
like,
were 100 years old?
Yeah, no, a 100-year-old shop that gave noodles or made noodles, and so I've had a lot more experience in the countryside. So this whole city thing is all new to me because I've been far away from that. So that was a lot of fun, but it's definitely a different experience than what's usually shown in movies. If you watch any old samurai movies, like Akira Kurosawa movies or anything, some of the scenery used in that would look like
where you were,
where I was.
But that question about Japan in the movies, the same thing absolutely could be asked of America. You know, most of the rest of the world, they see America through those movies. Is that what it's really like? You know, well, whatever. Yes and no. You know, so
New York, Chicago sometimes, but Los Angeles, Las Vegas. A lot of them are filmed in big cities, but lots of people live outside of that too. So, let's see. What else do we have? We're mistake spotters, not angle measurers.
Thanks a lot. Right. So, but actually, there's already one happened this morning that nobody seems to have picked up on. Or did they? I've already screwed up once today here.
Just now in the last few minutes, or should I?
Since I started doing this. Nothing to do with the previous embossing, but I made a big screw up here. And I quickly covered it with my finger, hoping nobody would notice.
Let's see. How far back should I go?
Well, no, whatever. If they had, they would say, they can say so again.
Yeah.
I think nobody noticed it because I covered it pretty quickly, thinking, oops, let's move right along here so these guys don't see this.
Okay, let's see what else you've got in here. Yeah, the point is that the angle doesn't matter as much as long as you cut the wood away that needs to go. Have I participated in a birthday party yet, as a visitor or helper? Actually, kind of. I've watched a whole lot, and I did one with one of the staffers who usually runs them. That was Teiko-san, and she just showed me how how they do it. So I made a print, but it wasn't with other customers or anything. It was just by myself. So we did it really fast. It wasn't the whole print party experience. It was more, here, I'm going to show you how to make this print really fast. So that was fun.
But your family, your wife came and did it, right?
Yeah,
Did you?
Yeah, my wife and mother-in-law, they came and did it, but I held the baby for that hour. Your body's like, make up your mind. I keep making these beautiful calluses for you, and then you waste them.
Yeah, so exactly. There was a situation, we were talking about that one day, this is years ago, 20 years ago or so, at one of the craftsmen's meetings.
Yeah.
And there had been a reporter, a young lady there to interview some of the craftsmen, and I'm in the group, blah, 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 blah. And at some point she'd seen one guy and said, what's that on your hand?
Yeah.
And what he'd had, I can't show it. He'd had on his, what's it called here? I don't know, not your thumb side, the other side. It's not the ball. Whatever, anyway, somewhere around here. He had a callus, which was, with no exaggeration, it was about half an inch wide. I'll do this in inches for whatever. Half an inch wide and about half an inch high. It was round. It was like some kind of mesa we see in Utah or something, whatever. And it stuck up. And it was like a piece of concrete stuck on his hand. Wow. And she thought it was something that he was wearing. She said it was stuck on his hand. And it wasn't. It was a built-in callus. And it's a printer who all his life has been doing this, and it had built up in that spot.
Wow.
So the conversation started, and we're all like, put out your hands and let's see what's going on. Yeah. And the printers all had similar calluses on the back of their fingers, and the carvers had stuff to a different place. Comes to my turn, I put out my hands. It looks like some woman's soft hands. What do you do, you know? And I had to tell the same story. That, well, I'm trying, you know? Yeah. So, and the guys were looking at me, you know, like in total... What's the word though?
They're dismissing.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a real printer, a real carver? Exactly. Yes. You're one of those unique individuals who does both.
Who ends up, from their point of view, no good at either, you know, from their point of view.
Yeah.
But actually, that to follow that thread, you know, as part of the conversation that day, that girl seeing this conversation, you know, I was chatting with her later. Towards the end of the evening, and the idea that would be a cool book. Imagine a book here, Tokyo Craftsman. Yeah. What your introduction, blah blah blah. Then you get to the meat. You turn the page, and there's a pair of hands. Look at the top. Look at the back. Couple of pictures. Yeah. And then you put a question mark. What does this man do? And you know, in the case of the one I mentioned, there's this huge callus here on the fingers. There's going to be calluses here. Right. And first, just by looking at that. Can you tell what he does? Now, you go through the book, there's a guy who puts his hands out, they're blue up to the, you know, he's an indigo dye or whatever. Right. So some of them are really easy. But every job is going to have its calluses in a different place. Right. And that would be such a cool book. Yeah. What does this man do? Then you turn the page and there's the explanation, a picture of his hands doing the job. So you can see where those calluses came. Interview the guy, picture, show his work. Yeah. Tokyo Craftsman as seen through their hands. Yeah. I want to read this book. Yeah. It would be so cool, you know. Oh, that would be a bestseller. Yeah. Absolutely a bestseller.
You said so many of the craftsmen are just like stopping and they're disappearing.
Yeah, I'm not talking about woodblock printmaking. I'm talking about, you know, this would be general. Printmakers, dyers, guys making, you know, whatever, you name it. Okay. So it's maybe the last chance now to get and do this, you know. But what a cool book that would be, you know. Yeah, that would be. Ideas are so cheap, execution is so difficult, you know.
Century udon, guaranteed lethal. Absolutely. Don't eat the 100-year-old udon. But talking about ramen, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Do you eat ramen often?
I don't eat the stuff much. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat noodles much. They sit in my guts and go boom. I can't work. You know. It's just
lighter fare.
Yeah.
I on the opposite end of the spectrum. I love miso and tonkotsu ramen. The heavy ones, the really rich broths. They're great.
Says a man who doesn't get any work done for the rest of the day.
Oh, man.
Is this microaggressions?
Yeah, I think that is macro.
Okay, sorry. Everybody in the world seems to be able to do that. They can eat a bowl of noodles and just get up and walk around and nothing seems to affect them. I can't even move with this bag of noodles in my stomach. You know, maybe I'm eating them in the wrong way. Yeah. I don't know. But everybody goes straight in and straight down, right? That's the way you do this.
I don't know how they do that. It's just vacuum.
I can't do it. I don't know why.
Jed popped in. Tell everyone they need to see the Japanese mountains. Tokyo's fun, but the mountains are magic. I'm with you, Jed. Let's see. You got people talking about your boxes. Someone took a picture of it and sent that, and others, oh, I want a box.
Boxes.
Said, I hope Dave sells the box separately, the subscription
What are we
print
talking
boxes, the display boxes.
Okay, they're all different. You mean like for Chibi Heroes boxes or something, or whatever? You know.
See which one their picture is. Picture is Portrait Series box. Yeah.
Well, we've made different ones over the years. You know, we've
So-
had to change makers and stuff. We have such trouble with this. You know.
Each subscription has a different box, right?
Yeah, but also the problem we have with them is that we've learned so many of our collectors, there are different physical environments as far as moisture goes.
Right.
So make a box that fits here. Japan is kind of damp and it's okay, and the box stays closed and it stays flat and it stays right. You send it to someone who lives in anywhere in America and they turn on the air conditioning and the whole house is dry, or they live in Nevada, whatever, and within 3 minutes the box is all dried and twisted and warped and stuff. You know, so we've had a real bit of trouble with this. We make them in an environment, Japan, that's fairly damp.
Right.
But most Western houses are air conditioned and drier, so it's been a real problem for us. I have no easy solution for this.
Any suggestions for a homemade print display for you? Shrug.
Another kind of box. No, I'm not sure. What are you asking? You know,
how to display them in their homes, I think. Some mentioned earlier they frame them. So.
Some people are doing that, so I mean that doesn't need any advice from me. We all know what to do about that. And we're trying to provide a storage solution so that, from my point of view, you don't have the same image in front of your face all day long for the next 24 years. You know, it just becomes wallpaper. If you frame it, put it on the wall, it becomes wallpaper. You don't see it anymore. And the traditional, the classical Japanese way to handle all kinds of stuff like this, not just art, but tea bowls or whatever, scrolls, you know, they stay in storage most of the time. And you bring it out just now and then to see it. And that way it's always fresh, it's always clean. Guest comes over, hey, I got this neat thing I want to show you, let's take a look at this, you know. And then you put it away for a while. And Japanese in general don't get this idea that Westerners love of framing stuff and putting it on the wall. It just becomes wallpaper. So this is why with our own work, as much as possible, we like to provide a storage solution for it so that it stays out of sight. It sounds a bit paradoxical, you know, make beautiful pictures and keep them out of sight. But you don't need to see it all day, every day. You lose it loses its attractiveness that way. So our specific take on it is storage solution, keep it out of sight, bring it out just now and then to look at it. Classically, it was seasons. You had stuff that was viewed in the seasons, a cherry blossom picture or whatever, you know. Our stuff, the Heroes, is nothing really seasonal based, so it doesn't have that aspect. But it doesn't matter.
But a lot you do, or the subscriptions are one a month, or you do have a few seasonal related images,
when I myself used to do things like that, Surimono album, I sent 10 a year. I always, whenever there was a winter scene, it ended up going in December. So when you see the series as a year, it did follow the seasons. But these things we're doing now, game characters, don't specifically have any such clue. Is it nearly 9:30? What's the time?
It's 9:25.
Really? So it's time to think about moving on. Okay. This must be, what is it? It's Thursday. It must be Teiko-san coming in, can it?
Nope. Aoyama-san. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Hello.
Have they met him?
Sure, many times.
Oh, okay.
Well, you say hello to the stream here.
ジュンさんがやってたことチャットの返信ですか、
そうですね。
映ってますね。
Cameron, do people vape in Japan? I don't think so. I've been here a while and haven't heard anything of it.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
the
part
smoking
of the
replacement?
culture. Yeah,
I've read that it's giant here.
Really?
I see it outside a lot, so I think it's a big deal.
So I guess it is a big deal here.
I believe only what I read and see outside.
I don't know. I wish I could answer it, but it sounds like Dave's at least heard quite a bit about it here. So check, or bet you can do a little Googling and find out. I'm not sure. Let's see, what else do we have? Some Japanese crafts would need feet pictures too, not just hands.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so do hands and feet.
Warning, this next page contains graphic content. Turn at your own risk or whatever. Yeah, so. My God, that would be such a fun book, you know?
Mm-hmm, that would be. You're not getting away from us that easily, Cameron. I think that's probably when I said, "Oh, have they met Aoyama-san? Maybe we can trade." Let's see. Yeah,
This is Teiko-san, right?
Nope.
Oh, no,
Suga-san.
Suga-san.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Good. I'm really good at this. Really good at the foot fingers. Hey, I remembered to take the paper out.
Oh, yay! Yatta, yay!
Do you have the callus? What is callus in Japanese?
I don't know.
何
taco, ありますか？
タコ。これこっち
スリシの
スリシのタコ
ありますか？
こ
じゃあ、もし、この人たちに
ああ、いいよ。
調子いいですか？今その釣り師のタコの話になりましたですね。そう。
どれこれあ、どこであ、ここ
on front the knuckles here.
そう。
You can see a little bit on the knuckles. She prints. Doesn't change jobs every day, so it's
こっちか。こういう方向で見せればいいのか。こことこことここ
Yeah.
ここにないですか？
こっちはできないんです、私。
じゃあほとんど指で？
そう、ここと
Oh.
そうですよ、ここ。でもこっちでちゃんとバランス取ってますよ。久保田さんもだいたいここ。久保田さんは第二関節。久保田さんのこことここがすごい。カッチカチ。
あ、そう。じゃあ
カチカチとか言って。そう、みんなの見て、統計的にだいたいここにできる人と浜野さんはここにできてて、中田さんも
ちょっと今こことか見えない。
あ、見えないです。
Can anyone see this?
昔の人たち。
I don't know if that helps at all.
私は一番ここに
The biggest
小
ones
指の
are
ここかこの中指のここにできるんですけど、
the biggest ones are on the pinky toward the end and middle finger as well.
でも諸先輩方はここがすっごい大きい人がここにできる人がグッとここにグッとここでやる人がいたり、
日本語して。
Yeah, so it's all in Japanese. So there's some others.
日本語じゃ普通
でも、
に喋る。
okay, すみません。ちょっと英語いい。One of the old fringes I used to visit. I won't say the name ね。名前を言えないんですが。
あ、そう、名前言えない。
今亡くなった方が、彼がすごい、English Japanese, he had a huge one here. もう1センチぐらいの高いタコがここにあったんです。本当につけたみたいですよ。でも本当にタコですよ。
ああ、そうなんだ。
彼がこのものを見た後、when I saw this, I asked him, is that okay? It looks painful. He says, more. He said, you look at women who are doing this, and they've got bumps here. 女性の場合はここにタコに出ますが、本当の釣り師の場合はこのような話になったんですよ。The point, English Japanese, the printer I was talking to, he says if you have lumps and bumps on your fingers, it means you're just rubbing with your fingers. A real man printer is what he said. Puts the pressure through here, bang, and that's where your pressure comes from. 彼の考えは本当にここから。
こうやってグーって力入れてるんだ。
ここで押すと女性用のすりしで、maybe at that time 僕はちょっとピンクになったかもしれないから、go away, go away. その考えがあったんですね。
まあバランスよくね、真ん中をこう使ってクッてね、バランス持ってるときに、
本当に pushing through your fingers, there's no way, the strength can't go. 指の方から力入れると力入れないです。
でもここにもやってる。
でもタコにならない。
そう、タコにならないの。こっち。
She says she's doing both. She says she's pushing through her fingers, but she says she's also putting plenty of pressure through the base of her hand. But when you look at the evidence, I don't see it, so who knows?
Okay. It's a balance. So you've got to balance it.
All right, here we go. Another day is about to start at Mokuhankan. What's going to happen today, I have no idea. Not the slightest idea. yesterday was, there's only one word for yesterday's shop, and that was insane.
Insane, yeah.
Just absolutely insane. We keep waiting for the autumn rush to be over and to start our winter
Will
sleep
it?
when we can get busy making prints. But it's not happening. No idea. Okay, guys, schedule. It's Thursday morning. Tomorrow, I've got work on my desk now for the next few days. Absolutely. So what I'll be doing tomorrow morning probably is doing this. Although there is a chance I'll be doing more Mimizuku printing on those owls, because you've heard the orders.
The prints
coming in.
don't stop, or the orders don't stop.
So I'll be doing one of those two jobs, either printing or carving for the foreseeable future. I have no idea what's happened in the chat here. I'll try and have a look at it if I have time. I haven't even read yesterday's yet.
Oh, no.
They're now falling off the edge of the table and floating into the ether. So.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to keep up, so I think you've heard most.
They're
things
thanking you.
happening,
So thanks for Cameron.
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Yes, yes. So, okay. Good. Okay, guys, I'm off. I'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, doing some kind of work, I guess. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Where are we? How do I get this turned off? The camera comes off first. Microphone, where is it?
Good night, microphone.
Microphone. There we go. And stop streaming. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.